Have you ever felt like you're chasing after life, pushing, striving, and doing everything in your power to make things happen, but still, it feels like you're always just a step behind? It's as if abundance is always just out of reach, despite your efforts. But what if I told you that there is a forgotten psalm, a powerful set of words, that can change everything? A psalm not written on paper, but embedded within your mind, heart, and body. This ancient truth isn't just a piece of wisdom from old texts. It's a scientific understanding of how we can tap into the quantum field of possibility, activate our brain's coherence, and truly attract the life we've been chasing. The key is in how we speak, how we feel, and how we align ourselves with the energy of the universe. We'll uncover the profound impact that one simple, forgotten psalm can have on your life, and how it can shift you from striving to receiving, allowing abundance to chase you down instead of the other way around. In the rush of everyday life, it's easy to forget that our minds are continuously engaged in a silent, unconscious battle for survival. In fact, research suggests that for 70% of the time, most people operate from a protective state, a mental and physiological mode geared towards staying safe in an unpredictable world. This instinctual survival mode is so deeply ingrained that we rarely notice it. But once we understand how it works, we can begin to move beyond it, unlocking new potentials in our lives, potentials that were previously blocked by fear, doubt, and uncertainty. This protective state is wired into our brains. Since early human history, survival has been the #1 priority of the brain. In prehistoric times, the ability to react quickly to external threats could mean the difference between life and death. Even in the modern world, despite the absence of physical dangers like predators, the brain continues to operate with the same survival-oriented mechanisms. It is constantly scanning the environment for signs of danger or threats, whether it's an actual predator, an emotional threat, or simply an uncomfortable situation. The first key to understanding how this protective state affects us is to recognize that the body reacts to perceived danger before the conscious mind even has a chance to process the information. Imagine a scenario where you're about to walk into a big meeting at work. Before you even know why, your heart starts racing, your palms sweat, and a subtle feeling of dread creeps into your mind. This isn't just anxiety, it's your body preparing for the worst. It's a protective reaction designed to give you the energy and alertness needed to face the challenge ahead, whether that challenge is real or imagined. The mind's automatic scanning of the environment means that we are constantly anticipating potential threats. Even when nothing immediate or dangerous is present, our brains are still on high alert, preparing us for what could go wrong. As a result, we often experience a cascade of emotions: fear, anxiety, worry, or sadness, long before anything even happens. The body begins to anticipate these emotional states, and the brain starts to prepare for them. This process is not only automatic but deeply ingrained, a learned behavior we adopt from years of conditioning. In this state of heightened awareness, the brain is essentially running on autopilot, perpetuating a pattern of response based on past experiences. This is why we sometimes react to new situations with an intensity that seems out of proportion to the actual event. We've all experienced moments where we feel our hearts race or our minds spiral into anxiety over a relatively small issue. These reactions are part of the protective state at work. This survival mechanism isn't inherently bad, of course. It served a vital purpose when humans lived in a more dangerous environment, alert to predators or rival tribes. However, in today's world where most dangers are psychological, emotional, or social, this automatic defense mechanism can become a hindrance. Instead of being alert to life-threatening danger, we are constantly reacting to non-life-threatening challenges, stress at work, relationship issues, financial pressures, or even the simple fear of failure. So, how does this constant state of readiness affect us? Well, when we operate from a defensive mindset, we limit our ability to experience life fully. The brain's default mode, survival mode, keeps us locked in a state of vigilance, where we are constantly focused on what could go wrong, rather than what could go right. This fear-based mindset blocks the flow of creativity, joy, and even abundance. Imagine living your life with your emotional guard up all the time, never allowing yourself to experience vulnerability or openness. In this state, Your focus is on protection, not expansion. You may crave success, wealth, or love, but your protective mechanisms keep you stuck in a cycle of scarcity and limitation. This is because when we are locked into survival mode, we are too busy defending ourselves against potential harm to open ourselves up to the abundant possibilities that life has to offer. But here's the paradox. The very thing we fear the most, vulnerability, might just be the key to unlocking the abundance we desire. If we can learn to step out of our protective shell, to stop living in a constant state of alertness, we might discover that life has far more to offer than we ever imagined. One of the greatest misconceptions in modern society is the idea that strength comes from closing ourselves off from our emotions and vulnerabilities. We are taught to build walls around our hearts, to keep our emotions in check, and to remain stoic in the face of adversity. In many cultures, particularly in competitive environments, vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, a flaw that can be exploited by others. Men, in particular, are often raised with the belief that in order to succeed, they must be tough, detached, and unemotional. However, the reality is far different. True strength doesn't come from shutting down our emotions. It comes from opening up, from allowing ourselves to feel deeply, and from embracing the full spectrum of human experience, including vulnerability. Let's consider a man who has spent his entire life in pursuit of success. He has worked tirelessly to provide for his family, to climb the social ladder, and to achieve financial security. Along the way, he's built up walls around his heart, walls designed to protect him from the vulnerability of failure, rejection, or emotional pain. For years, he has been living in survival mode, constantly focused on the next achievement, the next goal, the next milestone. Yet, something profound happens when he begins to open his heart. At first, it might feel uncomfortable. He might resist the urge to be vulnerable, to let down his guard. After all, he's been taught his whole life that vulnerability is a liability. But when he finally makes the choice to soften, to allow himself to be vulnerable, to reconnect with the childlike wonder, curiosity, and freedom he once had, he experiences a shift. The body begins to respond in ways that defy logic. In this state of openness, the heart releases a cascade of beneficial chemicals that promote healing and restoration. The nervous system begins to calm down, and the body moves out of the constant fight-or-flight response. It's as though the very act of surrendering to vulnerability allows the body to shift out of survival mode and into a state of thriving. Scientific research supports this idea. Studies have shown that when we open our hearts, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of the autonomic nervous system responsible for rest, digestion, and healing. This shift away from the stress-induced fight-or-flight response leads to a range of physical benefits, from reduced blood pressure to improved immune function. In other words, when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we are not just opening our hearts, we are allowing our bodies to heal. This shift is not just theoretical, it's something I've witnessed firsthand. I've seen men with serious health conditions, heart problems, chronic pain, even cancer, experience instantaneous healing when they allow themselves to open up emotionally and embrace vulnerability. One man, for example, had been suffering from angina, severe chest pain that made it impossible for him to walk more than a few steps without discomfort. After years of living in a constant state of tension, constantly on guard, he made the choice to open his heart. To his amazement, within a few weeks, he could walk for miles without experiencing any pain. The science behind this healing is simple yet profound. When we operate from a place of openness and vulnerability, we align our mind and body in a state of coherence. In this state, the brain and heart work together harmoniously, sending signals to the rest of the body that facilitate healing and growth. It's as if, when we let go of our need for control, we activate the body's natural healing mechanisms. For men, in particular, this shift can be life-changing. As they learn to open their hearts and embrace vulnerability, they begin to experience a profound transformation, not just in their health, but in their emotional lives as well. They start to feel more connected to others, more compassionate, and more in touch with their own emotions. They begin to break down the walls they've built around their hearts, walls that were designed to protect them but that ultimately kept them isolated and disconnected. But this process takes time. It requires practice, patience, and a willingness to step into the unknown. It requires men to move beyond the rigid, protective personas they've created and to allow themselves to be seen, to be heard, and to be vulnerable. This isn't easy, especially in a world that often equates vulnerability with weakness. But when men understand that vulnerability is, in fact, a strength, when they realize that by opening their hearts, they are unlocking the full potential of their mind and body, the transformation is nothing short of miraculous. When men, and women for that matter, learn to embrace vulnerability, they unlock the full potential of their lives. They begin to move away from the mindset of scarcity and survival and step into a new state of thriving. No longer bogged down by the fear of what might go wrong, they open themselves up to the infinite possibilities that exist in every moment. This shift is not just about emotional or physical healing. It's about creating an entirely new way of being in the world. When we let go of our need to control every outcome, when we stop living in fear of failure, we begin to attract the very things we desire: love, success, abundance. It's as if the universe responds to our vulnerability, meeting us halfway with opportunities we never thought possible. This is the power of opening your heart. It is the key to living a life of abundance, not just in material wealth, but in love, connection, and fulfillment. When we stop operating from a place of fear and start living from a place of openness and vulnerability, we align ourselves with the flow of life, and abundance will chase us down. To embrace this process, men and women must begin to practice vulnerability on a daily basis. It starts with small steps: opening up to a friend or loved one, sharing a personal thought or feeling, allowing yourself to experience the full range of human emotions. Over time, as these small moments of vulnerability accumulate, they begin to build a foundation of trust, both within ourselves and with others. When we make the conscious choice to live from the heart, we begin to experience life in a completely different way. No longer are we trapped in the cycle of survival mode. Instead, we move into a state of thriving, a state where abundance flows freely and effortlessly into our lives. It is in this state that true strength is found, strength not born of walls and defenses, but of openness and vulnerability. And when men, in particular, begin to embrace this new way of being, they will discover that they are not just surviving, they are truly alive, connected, and thriving. The concept of alignment is not new. It has echoed through ancient teachings, scientific discoveries, and the wisdom of sages for centuries. But in the rush of modern life, we often forget one simple but profound truth. Alignment is the key to unlocking the full potential of our minds, bodies, and hearts. What many overlook is the secret language that governs this alignment, a language that, once spoken, has the power to transform our entire existence. This forgotten psalm is not a psalm in the traditional sense, nor is it a religious chant. Instead, it is a deeply personal mantra, a guiding song that resonates with our very being, aligning our thoughts, emotions, and energy with the abundant flow of the universe. It's the inner chant we often neglect, one that, when spoken with intentionality, brings coherence between our heart and mind, and in doing so, shapes our reality. In scientific terms, this alignment speaks to the coherence between the brain and the heart, a relationship that is not just symbolic but grounded in real, measurable effects on our body, mind, and energy. At its core, this alignment creates a powerful field of energy, a vibration that interacts directly with the world around us, subtly influencing and shaping the circumstances of our lives. This energy isn't abstract or intangible. It's measurable, real, and capable of transforming our world in ways that go far beyond traditional understandings of cause and effect. But before diving into the science behind this coherence, it's essential to grasp the profound implications of aligning the brain and the heart. Picture this. In moments of pure joy, love, or deep gratitude, you experience an emotional high, a sense of connection with the world around you. These emotions are not mere fleeting feelings. They are energies that your body emits, frequencies that attract more of the same. When your heart and mind are aligned, this energy grows exponentially, creating a magnetic force that draws abundance, love, and opportunity into your life. This is not just wishful thinking. It is the natural outcome of a body and mind in harmonious alignment. But how exactly does this alignment work? Let's break it down. Our hearts and minds are not isolated entities, but rather interdependent systems that work in tandem to create a harmonious state of being. The heart, long thought to be merely a pump for blood, is now recognized as a sophisticated organ with a vast network of neurons, capable of processing information and sending signals to the brain. Research has shown that the heart has its own electromagnetic field, a field that is far more powerful than that of the brain. When this field is in coherence with the brain, the resulting energy is exponentially more potent than either organ's energy on its own. The brain, with its remarkable ability to focus and direct attention, serves as the compass, guiding the energy of the heart towards specific goals and desires. It is the brain that formulates thoughts and intentions, the starting point for manifestation. But the heart is what drives the energy behind those thoughts, fueling them with the intensity of emotion and the depth of feeling. Without this emotional fuel, our thoughts would remain mere mental constructs, ideas that lack the power to influence the world around us. In essence, the heart is the engine, and the brain is the driver. Together, they create a dynamic system that can propel us forward on our journey toward greater fulfillment, health, and abundance. But for this to happen, there must be alignment, a harmonious relationship where the heart and mind work together rather than at cross purposes. The forgotten psalm, as we call it, is the language of this alignment. It's the way we speak to ourselves and to the universe, using words and emotions to create a state of coherence. Unlike traditional psalms, which are often written in poetic or religious language, the forgotten psalm is personal, practical, and based on the energetic frequencies that govern the universe. At its core, this psalm is about cultivating an inner dialogue that resonates with the energy of abundance. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts, but about feeling them with the intensity of the heart, aligning your emotional state with the desires you wish to manifest. The forgotten psalm is an inner chant that affirms your connection to the universe, reminding you that you are an integral part of its vast, interconnected web. This chant might be as simple as repeating the words, "I am abundant," while feeling the emotion of gratitude, or it might be a more elaborate affirmation that includes the feeling of love, joy, and excitement for what is coming into your life. The key is to speak the words of the psalm with sincerity, allowing the energy of your heart to fuel them. Think of it as a form of meditation, where the words you speak, the feelings you generate, and the thoughts you focus on come together to create a powerful vibration. This vibration doesn't just stay within you, it extends outward, connecting with the greater energy field of the universe. And just as a tuning fork, when struck, resonates with the same frequency in the air, your alignment with the energy of abundance attracts the same frequency back to you. This forgotten psalm isn't just a spiritual practice, it is a scientific one. The brain and heart, when aligned in this way, create a coherent electromagnetic field that interacts with the world around us. This field has the power to influence not only our internal state but the external circumstances of our lives. Now that we've explored the concept of the forgotten psalm, let's dive deeper into the science of coherence between the heart and the brain. At the heart of this process is the phenomenon known as heart-brain coherence, a state where the heart and brain work together in synchrony, sending clear, harmonious signals to the body and the universe. This coherence is not a random occurrence but a measurable state that can be influenced by intentional practices such as meditation, breath work, and positive affirmations. When the heart and brain are in coherence, the body experiences a profound sense of calm, clarity, and well-being. The nervous system enters a state of balance, where stress is minimized and healing is maximized. But the effects of this coherence extend beyond just emotional or physical well-being. Studies in quantum physics and neuroscience have shown that the electromagnetic fields generated by the heart and brain can influence matter at a distance. In other words, when the heart and brain are in coherence, they create a powerful signal that the universe responds to. The research on heart-brain coherence has been pioneered by organizations such as the HeartMath Institute, which has conducted extensive studies on the impact of heart coherence on human health and well-being. According to their findings, when individuals intentionally cultivate coherence between the heart and brain, they experience improvements in everything from emotional regulation to physical health to the manifestation of their desires. To understand why this alignment works, we must first look at the nature of energy and the quantum field. The universe is not a static, unchanging place, but a dynamic system where energy is constantly in flux. Every thought, emotion, and action creates a frequency that ripples through the quantum field, shaping our reality in ways that we often don't realize. At the subatomic level, everything is made up of energy. This energy moves in waves, constantly shifting and changing based on the frequencies it is exposed to. Our thoughts and emotions, when in coherence, create a frequency that is in harmony with the energy of abundance. This frequency then interacts with the quantum field, sending out a signal that the universe responds to. When you speak the forgotten psalm, when you align your thoughts and emotions with the energy of abundance, you are sending a powerful signal into the quantum field. This signal is not just a mental wish or desire, it is an energetic frequency that attracts similar energies back to you. The more you align your mind and heart, the stronger this signal becomes, and the more the universe begins to rearrange itself to bring you the opportunities, people, and circumstances you need to fulfill your desires. This is not a passive process. It requires active participation from you. The more consistently you speak the forgotten psalm, the more you align your thoughts and emotions with abundance, the stronger your energetic signal becomes. Over time, this alignment becomes second nature, and the flow of abundance in your life becomes more effortless. The beauty of the forgotten psalm is that it is not confined to any particular tradition or belief system. It is a universal practice that can be applied by anyone, regardless of their background or spiritual orientation. The key to making this practice work for you is consistency and intention. To begin, choose a phrase or affirmation that resonates with you. It could be something as simple as, "I am worthy of abundance," or "I am open to receiving all the good life has to offer." As you say these words, allow yourself to truly feel the emotions associated with them. Focus on the sensation of abundance, joy, and love, and allow these feelings to fill your heart. Next, take a few moments each day to focus on your breath, bringing your attention to your heart center. As you breathe deeply, imagine the energy of your heart expanding and aligning with the energy of the universe. Visualize your thoughts and emotions coming into perfect harmony, and feel the power of this alignment radiating out into the world. Over time, as you practice speaking the forgotten psalm and aligning your mind and heart, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your life. Opportunities will begin to present themselves, your relationships will deepen, and you will feel more connected to the flow of abundance in your life. Speaking the forgotten psalm is about shifting your mindset from fear to possibility and aligning your thoughts, emotions, and energy with abundance. It requires reprogramming the way you think and feel, moving away from anticipating what could go wrong, and instead expecting what could go right. The first step in speaking the forgotten psalm is to shift your perspective. Most of us are conditioned to focus on what could go wrong, but the key to alignment with abundance is focusing on what could go right. This mindset shift is not about ignoring challenges but choosing to focus your energy on opportunities and positive outcomes. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools to create alignment. It shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present in your life. When you express gratitude, you activate your heart's energy and raise your frequency, broadcasting a magnetic signal that attracts more of what you're thankful for. Visualization helps align your brain and heart with your desired reality. Picture yourself already living the life you want, experiencing the emotions as if it's happening now. This mental rehearsal signals your subconscious mind that this reality is yours, helping to create coherence between your brain and heart. Surrender is the final step. It requires letting go of the need to control every aspect of your life and trusting that the universe will deliver what you need at the right time. Surrender is not about giving up but releasing resistance, allowing your desires to manifest effortlessly. Emotion is a critical aspect of alignment. When you align your thoughts with gratitude, visualize your desires, and surrender, you fuel the process with positive emotions. This emotional alignment creates a powerful frequency that attracts abundance into your life. To make speaking the forgotten psalm a daily practice, Incorporate gratitude, visualization, and surrender into your routine. Start your day with a moment of gratitude. Spend time visualizing your desired reality, and practice surrender whenever you feel the need to control outcomes. This will help you stay aligned with abundance. As you align yourself with abundance, you not only transform your own life but inspire others to do the same. Your energy creates a ripple effect that encourages those around you to step into their own potential, amplifying the collective flow of abundance.